Let us start today's topic, that is microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? That is formation of the microspores. Micro means microspore, that is pollen, and genesis means formation. So first of all, we should know some basic things before we study this. So first of all, this is the structure of male reproductive structure of the flower, that is anther. Anther consists of two parts. This is the basal part, that is called filament, and this upper swollen part is called your anther lobe. Now when we cut the section of this anther lobe, then what we find, in transverse section it gives a tetrasporangiate appearance. Tetrasporangiate means this type of shape and enclosing your pollen sacs at all the four corners. So in a tetrasporangiate anther, the outermost boundary is our epidermis. Then it is followed by a fibrous layer that is called endothecium. Then the next layer is our middle layers, whose number can vary in the different type of members. And the last layer is tapetum, that is the nutritive layer. And then in the center, this is your sporogenous tissue, which forms pollen mother cells, and they after meiosis forms your pollen grains. So now let us learn these terms. First of all, in case of microsporogenesis, we should know the term stamen, which is also called microsporophyll, right? It is the male reproductive structure of the flower, right? Now one term is here, that is monothecous anther. अब अगर आप इस स्टेमन का डायग्राम देखते हैं तो जो ऊपर के स्वोलन पार्ट्स आपको दिख रहे हैं, दैट इज द एंथर लोब्स. अब अगर एंथर लोब्स का नंबर 1 होगा तब हम टर्म यूज़ करेंगे मोनोथिकस. और अगर ये बाई लोब्ड होता है, अगर इसमें 2 लोब्स दिखते हैं जैसे इस डायग्राम के अंदर आपको दिख रहा है, तो यू कॉल इट बाईथिकस और डाईथिकस. देन inside this single lobe there are 2 sacs, pollen sacs, which are also called microsporangia, right? This structure. And now within the single lobe there are 2 pollen sacs, so we can call it bisporangiate. Then in the dithecous anther we are having 2 lobes, and in each lobe we are having 2 pollen sacs. So condition becomes tetrasporangiate, means 4 pollen sacs are there within the anther when we cut the transverse section. And tetrasporangiate anther is the most common condition, and bisporangiate condition is found in case of some plants like salvia, moringa, bolfia, and then in the members of the family Euphorbiaceae and Malvaceae. Inside Malvaceae examples are also quoted here, that is hibiscus, जो आपका China rose है, and then Albia rosea. But in some cases some other conditions are also reported, and first term is here, that is monosporangiate. इस केस में क्या होगा? In this case the anther lobe consists of only one pollen sac. Then the term is monosporangiate. Mono means single, sporangiate means sporangia. So only one microsporangia in the anther lobe. Example is Eresiothobium. And if the number is more means just like here 4 are there, even the number is more than that, then we use the term multisporangiate, means many sporangia in the anther lobes. Number can be 4, more than 4, maybe 8, or maybe like that. Examples of this category are members of the family Loranthaceae and Rhizophoraceae. Now when we cut the section, then the appearance is like this. This is the TS of the anther. Now one part or one side is magnified like this to show the different type of anther balls. तो यहाँ पे कौन कौन सी balls थी? सबसे बाहर एपिडर्मिस, नंबर 2 पे आपने पढ़ा एंडोथीसियम जो यहाँ पे ग्रीन कलर से दिखाई है. देन द नेक्स्ट लेयर इज द मिडल लेयर्स जिनका नंबर आपका 2, 3 कितना भी हो सकता है. एंड देन द नेक्स्ट और द लास्ट लेयर इज द टेपिटम, दैट इज द न्यूट्रिटिव लेयर. और जो सेंटर में आपको पूरा मास दिख रहा है स्पोरोजिनस टिश्यू का जो बना हुआ है, इसके अंदर क्या होते हैं आपके MMC, दैट इज माइक्रोस्पोर मदर सेल्स. इनका एक और भी नाम है दैट इज पोलन मदर सेल्स, राइट. एंड आफ्टर मेच्योरिटी क्या होगा, ये जो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजिया होते हैं ये आपके मेच्योर होंगे. म्योसिस के बाद यहाँ पे पोलन्स बनेंगे, फिर ये स्ट्रक्चर आपका कंबाइन हो जाएगा और ये पोलन जो होते हैं वो डिहाइज करने के लिए रेडी हो जाएंगे. तो यहाँ पे जो एंडोथीसियम की बॉल्स हैं यहाँ से ये रप्चर करेंगे एंड देन दे विल डिहाइज और पोलन्स गेट लिबरेटेड. नाउ वी विल स्टडी द डेवलपमेंटल स्टेजेस इन द एंथर बॉल फॉर्मेशन. तो आप यहाँ पे इसको अगर हम फ्लो चार्ट की फॉर्म में देखेंगे, सबसे पहला जो आपको डायग्राम दिखाया है यहाँ पे, हम पहले उसकी बात करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे क्या है, when we see a young anther, then it is represented by a homogeneous mass of actively dividing meristematic cells. ये जो अंदर के आपको जितने भी येलो कलर के सेल्स दिख रहे हैं, दे आर ऑल homogeneous mass of actively dividing meristematic cells, and they are surrounded by a single layer of epidermis, right. नाउ द सेकंड स्टेप, आप डायग्राम बी के ऊपर आ जाओ. अब क्या होता है यहाँ पे, नाउ विद द कोर्स ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इट बिकम्स लिटिल बिट फोर लोब्ड इन अपीयरेंस. अब इसकी जो थोड़ी सी शेप है वो थोड़ी सी टेट्रास्पोरेंजिएट जैसी होनी शुरू हो जाएगी, थोड़े से लोब्स इसमें डेवलप करना शुरू करेंगे. एंड हाउ मैनी लोब्स, दैट इज 4 इन ऑल द 4 कॉर्नर्स. देन on the 4 corners of the 4-lobed structure a group of hypodermal cells. अब यहाँ पे जो ब्लैक आपको सेल्स दिखाए हैं, इन सेल्स को हम यहाँ पे बोलेंगे आर्कीस्पोरियल सेल्स. अब ये सिंगल सेल भी हो सकते हैं, ग्रुप ऑफ सेल्स भी हो सकते हैं. सो वी कॉल देम आर्कीस्पोरियल सेल्स और सिंपली यू कैन कॉल देम आर्कीस्पोरियम. नाउ व्हाट हैपन्स हियर, नाउ a group of cells of the hypodermal region below the epidermis in all the 4 corners, these cells become more prominent because of their larger size, dense cytoplasm with the radial elongations and well defined nucleus. तो ये 4 कैरेक्टर यहाँ पे आएंगे. कौन कौन से, फर्स्ट वन लार्जर साइज, second dense cytoplasm, then slight radial elongations in the walls, and then the conspicuous nuclei. These cells become prominent from the rest of the cells and we start calling them archisporium cells. आपका जो schematic diagram है वो आपको इस तरीके से दिखना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. First of all, we will write here undifferentiated anther. Now, it is surrounded by a single layer of epidermis. और अभी हमने पढ़ा हाइपोडर्मस रीजन में यहाँ पे क्या डेवलप किया, आर्कीस्पोरियम. Now, this archisporium cell will undergo periclinal division. Periclinal means just parallel to the axis, means just like transverse division. And then it formed 2 cells. To towards the epidermis or toward the outer side, it forms primary parietal cell, right? And on the inner side, means toward the center, it starts forming primary sporogenous cells. Then primary parietal cell again divides by periclinal division, and then it forms outer secondary parietal cell and one more cell toward the inner side, that is your inner secondary parietal cell, right? Then they further go different type of divisions in the different planes, and then the outer secondary parietal cells after division will form endothecium toward the outer side and upper middle layer toward the inner side, right? In the same way, your inner secondary parietal cell that also divides and forms the lower middle layer, right? It is below the upper middle layer, and one more very important layer, that is the nutritive layer called tapetum, right? And finally, these upper middle layer further divides and then give rise to more middle layers, right? And then finally what is formed? This epidermis, that is the first layer that is written here. Second is the endothecium layer, then 2 to 3 middle layers, right? And the fourth and the last layer is our tapetum. So these four anther ball layers are formed. First one epidermis, that is followed by endothecium, then the middle layers whose number can vary, that is maybe 2 layered, 3 layered, and then tapetum, right? Now depending upon further divisions of these secondary parietal cells, one scientist was there, that is Davis, in the year 1966. He recognized 4 types of anther ball development, right? These 4 types were basic type, then dicot type, third monocot type, and fourth is the reduced type. 4 types of anther ball development: basic, dicot, monocot, and reduced types. So all these are almost common, but only difference is that whether these cells divide how many times or in different planes and forms how many layers, these endothecium, middle layers, and the tapetum, and which layer form the which structure. That is the only basic difference in this. So all that was studied by the scientist Davis. Now come to the second side, that is archisporium formed for the first time toward the inner side a sporogenous cell, primary sporogenous cell. Now this primary sporogenous cell can directly behave like a microspore mother cell, that is MMC, right? Or it can also behave like pollen mother cells, that is PMC, right? That is pollen mother cells. But in some cases they divide by mitosis, and first they form the secondary sporogenous tissues, and then they form, or then they behave like the microspore mother cells or pollen mother cells, and then they undergo meiosis, and then they form the pollen grains. So this is the schematic representation of the ontogeny of the anther development. So let us revise it again. First of all, undifferentiated anther. Outermost lining is already existing, that is the epidermis. Then some cells from the hypodermal region. These cells, they becomes more prominent. So these cells were called the archisporial cells. They divided by the periclinal divisions, and then they formed the secondary parietal cells in all the four corners, and then they further divided, and then they give rise to the endothecium, middle layers, and tapetum, while the primary sporogenous tissue will form microspore mother cells or the pollen mother cells directly, or also by the different type of division, that the mitotic divisions, by forming initially the secondary sporogenous cells, and then in the last these microspore mother cells will undergo meiosis and they will give rise to the pollen grains. Then these pollen grains are formed inside the stamen, and then they are dehisced by the different modes, by slits, by valves, or by the apical apertures. So that's all in this topic.